Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Finally, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. We're on to episode number 60. It's been a while. We've obviously been off on all our holidays. I'll come to the boys in a second and they can fill me in on how they're doing. But I'll ask the question first of all. Any 68s in Celtic's illustrious history?
No that I can think of, that come to mind.
Yeah, you can't think any because there's no one has occupied the shirt number 68 yet. So there you go. If you're trying to guess at home, give up because there's fucking none. Welcome back to the podcast. It's nice to be back though, isn't it? It's nice to just be back in the studio. It's been a while. We've all had our own holidays. Me and Cal, we were away to Magaluf. You sad to be back, Cal?
I'm fuck.
No,
came back with my phone shattered and just wanted him by the end of it.
You wanted to die by the end of it.
Wanted to die
At least, right, listen, both of us lost our phone, right? But at least you came back with a voice because I had no voice like the first 2 days I was actually back in this country, which was lovely. Note to self: never smoke the Sterling Jewels. They're not good for the throat. I had a good time though, Cam. I enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. Also, I'm just saying that's due to the phone fact. But I mean, we've seen Celtic win 5-0 over there. Nice to watch them in the sun. That was a good highlight.
It'll be the last time I ever buy a Guinness in Spain. I didn't even bother touching it. It was horrendous. Absolutely. The woman had the cheek to come round like 2 hours later after they'd been sitting there like, is no one drinking that Guinness? Like, no. There's
what do you think?
It looked like the cream had like developed a layer of skin on the top, like the idiot.
Soup?
Curry shell skin.
Did you munch it?
Oh, right. Anyway, Kieran Hold, hello. You were in Ibiza. How did you enjoy your holiday?
First few days are class, aye.
Then you flew home early.
Too right.
This
place is barking, man.
This man booked a flight, 4 or 5 days in? Was it?
Yeah, it was 50.
50? Aye.
Where's that fuck sitting in a hotel room till Wednesday, man? I was actually knocked out, man.
Are you ready to do it all again on Saturday?
Oh, yes.
Yes, exactly. Never give it up.
Early flight home for Grace.
Just get the 41 up the road. hope it takes
We're doing it on the aeroplane.
Walk up the middle of the What a bizarre start to this week. But people will be sitting in this like, what are you talking about? Aye, hopefully Saturday's a bit better for you, Kieran, but it's nice to be back in the company of everyone. We're obviously missing Ryan McGinley. McGinley's he's just back from his holiday. He was in Dublin for his holiday. Stag do weekend. It sounds like he had fun, so he'll be back. For everybody waiting for McGinley to get back on the channel and such, I'm sure he'll be back on very soon. We had to do a 3-man show this evening because everything's happening so quickly with the game coming up on Saturday. I've got a very busy day tomorrow, and to edit a 4-man show would have just been nigh impossible. And there's a fly going about this studio, which is lovely. So McGinley will be back soon. I'm sure he's listening from home. Don't worry, McGinley. We'll try and keep it light on you this week. There is a funny joke to come later on, though, isn't there?
You made the joke?
It was me that made the joke, to be fair. Right, it's Derby weekend, and we're back at this old situation that we've been at so many times in this podcast. It's previewing the Derby game. This time, though, it's the first of a new season. It's Celtic versus Rangers, both being Champions League clubs, and it's a big step for Ange Postecoglou's Celtic because, you know, we could potentially go 5 points clear already, and to think about, you know, the start of last season when we were behind for so long of the season, to now have the chance to establish a 5-point gap so early on is a massive change. Kieran, it's currently the 1st of September, deadline day. the window's about to shut. Can you, just very quickly, can you believe the turnaround in a year at Celtic? I mean, it was this time last year we were signing Jota, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Giakoumakis on deadline day. Now they're so integral to this team, and we're just so different, and we're top of the table. It's almost unbelievable what's happened in the last year.
I know, if you'd have said this, like, after Lennon left that in such a short space of time, because we had already prepared for the absolute worst of people coming into the club. You weren't expecting a quick turnaround whatsoever. So I don't know, it's just, I don't know, every time I think about it I'm just buzzing, man, because for where we were at the start of last summer and the initial signings that were actually made, then you had your Urugidis and that coming in, but then it's mental. Normally it's panic buys and that in the last like couple of days of the window, but as you said, two of them we end up signing on permanents for big fees, and Giakoumakis turned it to be a masterstroke, especially in the second half of last season. But nah, it's pure cliche, but it is night and day.
It is night and day. And Callum, you know, the fact was last year we started the season with a derby loss very early on, a 1-0 defeat at Ibrox. I think that day we were all sort of sitting there thinking this is going to be a long journey, and we didn't really see a league title coming. We won the league. And now going into this derby, the squad's so different, the mood's so different. I feel like this is just going to be a complete 180. Even if we were to get beat at the weekend, the feeling after the game will still be 180, because no one's going to be like, this is going to be a tough season. They're going to be still optimistic about our chances in going for the league title.
Definitely, I think, as Kinslet, not a bit of cliche, but as night and day when you look at the team that we had starting that game. Don't get me wrong, there is majority of that team are here just now, but they hadn't gelled together yet. They'd only played, 5-6 games by that point. So I said, still try to get them to come together, but as of the signings, it is the same players as last season, but the fact we've got them tied down is brilliant, and we've still got new players that came in. It'd be nice to see more of.
I mean, it is deadline day with a few hours to go, and we are hearing murmurs of signings that could be coming through the door, so the renovation isn't even completely over. But the big talking point for the start of this podcast is this derby game at the weekend. It's at Celtic Park, of course. Tickets are sold out. It's going to be electric. I made the point in my video earlier today. Obviously we're recording this on Thursday night. The first derby at Celtic Park last season was of course that 3-0 victory in February, and it was just mad the whole day, and the result that night. Kieran, going into this game, that day, that motivation behind the team, the way we played that night, I think it was just a real hunger to play in front of our fans and give them back a result after what had been many poor derby performances. Are you hoping that going into this, the crowd is up for it, the team is up for it, knowing that this is the first and the only time we're going to play them at Celtic Park for a while, but the first chance this season to really make a statement, because we've had some great games, 9-0, we beat Dundee United, not taking anything away from that, but this is the first, big challenge so far this season. So do you think the team will be as hungry as they were that night in February?
I think the hunger of the team's up for debate, to be fair. I think you can tell, even when you look at the second string team the other night, the performance they put in. So I'm like, everybody's choking to be in that team, everybody's choking to do the best for the team. So I think it's a different position for that game last year, because we went into it chasing the lead. We knew what we had to do to go tap, then we never gave it up for that point onwards. But right now we're gone in 2 points clear, knowing that we could extend that gap. So it's a different kind of pressure, I suppose. But I think the players you've seen the run into last season, and they're able to handle it. So you'd like to think, as you said, go out and make a statement and try and put a wedge between us early on in the season. I know it's a long season, a lot of things can happen, a lot of things can change between now and the end of the season. But to be compared to the way we were last year, is this the 6th game of the season for us?
Yeah, it's round 6, I think. Yeah, is it? Yeah, because no, sorry, is this the 7th game? It is. Because we've won 5. No, that's not right. This website's got it wrong. I've got a site up for notes, but they said we've drawn a game. We didn't draw a game. No. So Scottish Premiership form, Celtic 1-2 drew 1-1-3. That is not right. That is not right at all. It's just a site that gives you previews and such for the game,
So just try to compare the way we were.
5. This is round 6. This is round 6. We've won 5.
I mean, you look back to last year. I'm pretty sure in the first 6 games it was 1-3, lost 3.
It was. So, 3 away losses to Tynecastle, Ibrox, Tony Macaroni, and it won 6 games.
So I mean, if you can go out and just get a win, man, it shows how far we're talking about, how far we've came in the space of a year, even with a team that's very similar to it. It just shows. I mean, last year when was the last time we got beaten in the league? Tony Macaroni, wasn't it?
Aye.
September
Wow, what a
2021.
run. What a run.
So I don't know, the players have got all the incentive in the world to just keep it going, and hopefully they can do that on Saturday.
I mean, you'd love to just match the record of Brendan Rodgers somehow. I'm not sure what the number is for Rodgers in terms of
69 or
that was
something,
for all domestic competitions, was it not? So I don't know what the number is in terms of just league games. But I mean, you'd love to try and chase that and match that down. We must be giving it a fair crack now.
Think about anything like that.
No, of course. It's all a game at a time, isn't it?
I know.
And this game's huge at the weekend. You know,
I know.
It's
I think
winning
everybody's
that.
looking
It's
at
first.
anything like too far into the future.
It's one of the things as well. Nobody actually cares. Like if we were to go and get beat next week or draw next week or whatever, nobody's going to be heartbroken about a record. They're not going to be, we almost a record at the window.
I know, it's all about the here and now.
No, yeah.
But
Aye, Celtic against Rangers. What a game. Oh, brilliant. Callum, 9-0 last weekend. We didn't even get the chance to review it, but this is the first podcast back. But we beat Dundee United 9-0. Do you think Celtic right now are the team on top in Glasgow with results like that? Now, I know both sides are... Rangers have only had one kind of slip up, and that was Hibs back at Easter Road a couple of weeks ago. But Celtic winning 9-0. They win 4-1 the other night. It's almost like whatever Rangers can do, Celtic can do better. Rangers went 1-4-0 at the weekend. We win 9-0. They won 3-1 the other night. We win 4-1. I think that, I'm not saying that means we're guaranteed a win or we're the dead-on favourites, but right now, you can't knock anything about the atmosphere and the kind of the good mood at Celtic. You're rightly looking at yourselves as the better team.
Oh, 100%. I think, as you said, you go out and you win the likes of 9-0. Like, I didn't even see us score the fourth goal. I was in work for the game. Also,
we in the
able to
bookies?
sit and watch it. And obviously, it went 3-0, got into injury time at half time. I was like, jumped to the toilet and I came back in, seen it at half time, 4-0. I thought they'd even score that. But to go out and put in a performance like that, like, it was just relentless. That's what you like to see for us. But, like, there has been performance in the past under the likes of Rodgers. You are about, say, 4-5 up at half time. In the second half, it's just dead. It's so flat. But the fact that goes back to Ange last season with the whole we never stop. It just keeps you going. And do you know what? I'm not saying we'd beat Rangers 9-0, but you'd love an it just keeps going and going.
I would love a 9-0 against Rangers.
I would love it, but even like looking back to the 3-0 game, I genuinely fancied us in the second half to get and score another 3. The way we were playing, it was just, it didn't look as if MD was stopping us, and from that point on, obviously we seen what happened. The league, nobody did manage to stop us. But you just love an absolute thumping.
Oh, if I could, I'd chop off a leg. I'd lose a limb to win like by 5+ now. And any time in my lifetime to see that with my own eyes, I'd get rid of a limb, I think. Keane, I seen you opening your mouth ready to talk on middle of Callum's.
no, it's just like, it's mental. Just thinking back to the past, like the amount of games that we've seen in the past under different managers as well. They're like, the way we play in the first half, if we could just keep that up for the second half, it would be a cricket score. But like honestly, like that game at the weekend, there was an eye opener as to what this team is capable of. And everybody always slagged Ange saying we never stop it when he first came in. Oh, well, you're not laughing now, are you?
You're not laughing now. Get Nigel Farage to the game at the weekend. I'm sure he'll get a great reception at Celtic Park. I was going to be, let's talk about the opposition a wee bit. I think we're about 12 minutes into the show. Let's talk about the opposition. Rangers have seemed dead. Their fans have been dead up and down at the moment. I feel like 1 week they're moaning about something, the next week they're kind of the best team in Europe. Now, I'm not going to try and sit here and make digs and all the rest of it. We're more professional than that. I'll be fuck. But like, remember like when they drew with Hibs, so many people with all these concerns. Next thing you know, they're in the Champions League and it's back to the way it is. Do you think there's a Rangers side there to take advantage of, Kieran? What are you making of them at the moment, since they are the opposition?
I don't know. I'm always a firm believer in form can just go out the window in games like this. No matter how well you're playing, it's a different kind of game entirely when you come up against them. It is down to I think in the first few minutes it's pretty clear to see who's more up for it. I'm not saying that is the defining thing of the entire game. Obviously the actual quality on the park comes into it, but I mean the desire to win plays a massive part in this. But I don't know, I think as long as players they seem up for it, nobody's shying out of tackles and that, it's pure cliche when it comes to these games. I'll get stuck right in for the first whistle, but it really is such a big thing. Like,
I'd love to go back and get every single Derby preview podcast and see how many times between us we've said like all these same phrases.
It's actually just
matters on the day, doesn't it? It's who wants it the most on the
we sound
day.
like well rehearsed managers and
It's like they're clicking the same option in Football Manager.
I'm just very concerned about being over hingy in my talk before it, because I know it can come back to bite you. And I don't know, this is a game that I feel like I've not really had a lot of time to sit and think about until the last day or so, because obviously we've been a bit preoccupied the past week and that, just with various other things. So to now be able to actually sit down and this is the next game coming up, because you've got everybody got it, we had Dingwall midweek, once that's out of the way, then you can focus on that. So it's like you've got a very short space of time, and like if there wasn't any midweek fixture, I feel like my mind would be gone a mile a minute, man. So I don't know.
It's like trying to play catch up.
I never know what to think going into these games, because as much as you look at how well we're playing that, you know it can just go out the window. So
I remember, Calum, you were on the first TSF of the season, weren't you? When it was just like a lot. Were you there when it was like 5 years and we'd done the season predictions?
Nah,
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. Well, I'll ask you the question anyway. You didn't have to be there for the question to be relevant. I made the point, I think a lot of us agreed with, that this could be potentially the most unpredictable season in the Scottish Premiership in terms of the top two for a long time, because, you know, Celtic are now back to being their best. Rangers are obviously, they won the title 2 years ago during the Champions League. You're looking at two very, very strong sides. Do you think that's just that is reflected in the mood building to this game? There is a slight hint of unpredictability. Like, you don't want to be too ahead of yourselves and saying like, oh, we won 9-0, we're going to pump them. But Rangers at the end of the day, they've qualified for Champions League. They are a decent side. Do you think that unpredictability makes it a bit harder to gauge going into this?
100%. As like even Kieran touched on, like, you don't want to say something that comes back to bite you. Like, as much as you want to say it, I've got as much faith as possible in Celtic and the team to go into that.
That flies doing my tips in, I'll tell you that for nothing.
But as you said, at the same time, like, you just can't call it. It's just it's obviously both teams have had similar starts to the season, obviously minus obviously the Hibs result, but I think it's you then wonder, does either manager, they've obviously got full focus on this, but does either one even slightly take their eye off and think towards a midweek fixture for the European games?
That's coming up, obviously.
I'd
be surprised if any of them did. You know, this is especially.
I'd like to think that. If it's their side of the city, if he's wanted to do that, by all means, on you go. That's fine by me. You get
play your B team against us. We'll take it. Don't worry. Don't mind me.
But no, definitely, as we're touching on, it is so unpredictable. Like, I know there will be a point you'll come to with a score prediction that probably take me to the end of the show, I think it was.
I think I predict the same score in every single one.
Calum raises a good point though in the terms of talking about the Champions League, because that is, we play on Tuesday night, they play Wednesday night. It's crazy how it's all coming so fast now. As you said, you're not getting a minute to think about this game. Suddenly you're not going to have the minute to think about the Real Madrid game on Tuesday, and that'll be the same for Van Bronckhorst with who they playing first. Ajax. That'll be the same for him. So there is so much to consider. Who do you want to prioritise for which game, etc. But Rangers in a position where they need to try and close that 2 point gap. You know, they want to get a win, and Celtic want to pull away. So I think both managers will be looking at it with 100% focus, and then they'll deal with the other game come Sunday evening when they've had their morning off. Kieran, you looked like you were going to say something.
No, I mean, it's just it's a podcast for cliches, and it's like, get it all out. We focus on each game as it comes.
What's next? The atmosphere will be brilliant. It'll be amazing. Aye.
But nah, it's just, you'd like to think nobody's focus will slip. Everybody at the club knows. Yeah, you'd like to think even the people that have just came through the door that it's Celtic against Rangers. Everybody knows what it means. So I don't think anybody will. Hopefully, nobody will have their eye on Real Madrid midweek, even though it is an enticing fixture. But I mean, one game at a time. You know?
I was ready to burst out laughing as soon as you said like it's the derby. We all know what it means, you know. You said like you're at the press conference. You've just been unveiled, like taking all the cliches. Like, oh, it's a great club. I've heard the fans are brilliant. The atmosphere's brilliant. I've heard it all before, pal. Right. Anyway, let's talk about the team itself and Celtic, how we approach this game and who's going to be playing. The big discussion is in the front three, isn't it? That's where most of the conversation lies right now. There is a couple of dilemmas over the park. Obviously, you can talk. I think
people are maybe getting a bit ahead of themselves at the midfield one. I think the midfield picks itself.
The midfield is picked. The midfield is absolutely
you've got a lot
picked.
of people after Aaron Moy midweek. I still don't think he should start.
No,
you've got some people getting a bit carried away because he's played well the last couple of games, but I don't think that means we should throw him right in against Rangers. I wouldn't mind him coming on.
Oh, absolutely
if the game needed it, like somebody like him to come in and try and break up play and ping passes, but I don't know if that's what you need for the get-go. I mean, if Ange chooses to play him, then I'll back it, but as we just said there, I think the midfield picks itself. I think everybody knows what it's going to be.
There's a reason that Aaron Moy started on Wednesday night, and that's because he's not starting on Saturday. That's the and I'm not. I don't want people in the comments confusing me with being like, "Oh, Moy shouldn't play." I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he won't. There's like
I think that argument, that point there, also applies to the front three. I think maybe not Abada, but up front. Well, that's what I wanted to start with. Are we all kind of on the side of Kyogo? I guess there's two arguments to weigh up here. I mean, I would not be fussed about either of them starting. I think they've both got their own strengths that they can play to. It's just whatever Ange thinks is needed on the day. I don't think he would hesitate to put any of them in, regardless of Kyogo playing all these games. If he thinks Yakimakis is needed for the game on Saturday, he'll play him. But I think the fact that Yakimakis started midweek, as we're talking about Aaron Moy, and that means Kyogo will be starting. So I think Kyogo could do some real damage. I know he's not really made too much an impression in these games in the brief appearance he had, but I don't know, it's just the thought of him running in behind and that causing problems, but then you've also got the other hand of Yakimakis being a big physical presence up front and causing problems. So it's a nice dilemma to have, and I think it just comes down to, as I said, on the day. But I'm fine with Kyogo starting, I think.
Do you think, Callum, do you think this is the game, the opportunity that finally that Kyogo can get his first derby goal?
I mean, you'd like to think so, but we would loved it to have came in the game last season, but also the first game of the season they started sitting there left, it was all wrong for the get-go, as we've seen. But then also you go into the game the second, he's tore his hamstring 2 weeks before that, 2 months before and Boxing Day, so he hasn't really had a full run at it, I'd like to say. You'd love to see him, but then again, as Kim was saying, it all comes down to what Ange's game plan is. Is his game plan to just go at them full speed, and as we've seen, get those balls in behind, and that's you've got Kyogo, do you want me to go in sort of bully like Sellik, Goldson and such, and that's when you'd like to see Yakimakis. We've seen it, the 3-0 when they leaped above Bassi, when he's nearly came up on top of his shoulders. But the height he gets, it's ridiculous.
Nearly came up to 4-1-2, but the height he fucking got.
So it all comes down to sort of the game plan that Ange's aiming for.
See, that's the list is what I was going to bring up here. The Kyogo starts, right, and I think we can all sit down and see he probably will. I think we're all kind of under the assumption he will start anyway. Just like we said with Moy, Kyogo wouldn't have started, or would have started Wednesday.
Because
you know what I'm trying? I could have given my words there. Sorry, mincing my words. You know what I was trying to aim at. But the thing is, he is going to get. They I don't know who they're going to play. If it'll be Goldson and Suter or blah blah blah. I don't know who they're going to play, but they're going to just kick lumps at him. I can see already. You know that for a fact. They're going to kick lumps at him. But that's where you trust Kieran and Kyogo's his instinct and his intelligence as a player. We want to see him we want to see offside goals, is what I'm saying. We want to see him beat those players and score offside goals.
I know they'll have to rewrite the offside rule just because of Kyogo. But
that cracker on follow like
weird,
the offside rule is there for abusing.
Yes, anybody can abuse it.
Man stands offside but moves onside. Shocking. That was actually the opinion.
Can't believe people actually know how to type on a laptop, man.
Ironside the detective, that's what he was. But you know, genuinely though, that's where you trust in his game, isn't it? Those instincts as the forward that he is, to try and escape the scenarios. I think that Kyogo's advantage in this game is the lack of dribbling in his game will probably reduce the knocks. You know, you don't see the Kyogo going on his big long run, so hopefully he doesn't.
Because he's rapid, but with his feet, obviously he's no the quickest actual dribbler. To be fair, he's not. I wouldn't even say he's the most skillful in terms of a player. He's got good technique in that, but he's no a flair player.
He's not a Jota.
He's no Jota. Like the Jotas of the world do that. But I think Kyogo's game comes through his football intelligence and that. He runs in behind, so hopefully he gets the opportunity to show that. Because I mean, he started the game, like the one each game, back in May. It was May, wasn't it?
May, aye.
In the split. And it didn't make too much of an impression on that game for what I can remember anyway, which is very, very little.
Very little.
But I mean, I don't know, like, I think he's crying out for the opportunity to just go and grab a game by the scruff of the neck, and with the form he's on, I don't think you could deny starting Kyogo in a game like this.
Absolutely.
As much as Yakimakis' strengths and qualities are there for everybody to see, I still don't think you can look past Kyogo for this game.
Yeah, I thought you were going to carry on there. That's why I was just kind of staring into space. I think we'll come on to like our actual 11 in a moment, but yeah, I think we've spoke about the advantage. And look, if he starts Giakoumakis, who cares? Still a great option, and we've spoke about the advantages he would bring to this type of game, and everybody knows that. And that's a lot of questions that I got in my video from earlier today. Was would you start Giakoumakis because he's done well in those past 2 games? And I think that's a good thing, Callum, in terms of if Giakoumakis does start, which he probably won't, but if he does, we know that he's performed well in the last few fixtures, and he'll offer us something anyway, even if we're gutted not to see Kyogo start.
Definitely. I think if it comes down to, again, it comes down to the way Rangers set up. If they're in one of those moods where they want to just try and press the back line, I mean, they'd be playing that long ball. I think Giakoumakis is perfect. He'll happily take it down and hold off a man if he needs to get the team back up the pitch. But then again, I'm genuinely just lost for words now to try to think, because there's 100 things to think about. As I said, we've been busy all week trying to sort all our trips. Try and think of this, it's just no comes to me.
We've not even spoken about the trips yet. We'll leave that for the end of the podcast.
Aye, we'll come back to them, but no, I think on current form, obviously you go Kyogo, that's easy, but if we were to go with that game plan, try and tire them out as much as possible. When you want the physical players, you're Giakoumakis all day.
Yeah, and the second, before we get into our teams, the second debate that I've seen in terms of the player options is a lot of people asking the question Starfelt or Jens. Now, Starfelt came under a bit of quiet criticism for Wednesday night, and a lot of people have still seemed to carry on to this agenda that he's not good enough. I'm getting a lot in my comment sections. I know we're all, especially yourself, Cam, big Carl Starfelt fans. I mean, the guy's just returned from injury. Yeah, I think he could have done better at defending that goal against Ross County Wednesday night, but I don't think, Callum, that it wasn't something that made. There's a lot. I've seen a few comments like, once again proving he's nowhere near good enough. We need to get somebody better. Blah blah blah. Was the 38 games last season not enough for folk? Was the recovery of his bad start not good enough for folk? I think that people get so over their head about it when there's something to moan about.
I think, see if we are 4 or 5-0 up and that goal goes in, nobody says a word. It's because it makes it 1-1. I think that's where a lot of people have a big problem. They say, oh well, but then the result could have run onto so and so.
It was 2-1, wasn't it? It made the game close. It was 2-1, aye.
To bring it in closer even, but like, even like Jens, you even see it in the replay, he turns around and he's looking for an offside shout. Again, that's the classic centre-half shout. If your man has to away and get a tap in, you've got your arms up in there looking for it. It's classic. It's personally, again, it's not just because of how much I do like Starfelt, but I just don't see where people are getting these problems to moan for.
I know he's came back in, he scored twice as well.
I think it's just easy for a lot of people in our support once they've got a first impression of somebody, regardless of how much they do everything to try and take that away. As soon as there's the slightest wee error or mistake in that game, it's magnified tenfold, because even if you move on to somebody like Maeda as well, who people... I mean, I think I would start a bad iron on Saturday, if I'm being honest, but that doesn't mean it should be a criticism on Maeda. Like, the numbers he's pulled this season already and Kents are losing the heats and what. Honestly, like, there seems to be a mad weird agenda against Maeda as well, and I don't really get that, to be honest with you. Like, there's a lot of people that really don't want him in the team and saying he's pish, and I just don't see where they're getting it for, to be honest.
There they are. And even like
but it reminds me of Badal last season. It's he won't take on a man or fucking something like that. I'm like, this is the sort of thing everybody was saying last year, and then you got to the halfway point of the season, you're like, wait, look how many goals and assists he's got now. He's fucking amazing. I'm like, what is Maeda not got like 4 assists or something this season already? 3-4 assists and a goal. I'm like, what more do you actually want? He's pulling in the numbers. He might have not took on his man, but I'm like, this is actually mirrored to what was happening with Abada last year.
I think there's like an element of the support that you expect every winger to be like Jimmy Johnson. I think that's what they just expect from a winger straight away. But like, even my dad the other night, he was turned around and said, Maeda's a wee dynamo, isn't he? He's just like so quick, and he's another intelligent player. Like, we've got so many intelligent players on the side, but you know, if the thing is, you talk about impressions, how many times in this podcast, we don't need to go over it again, but how many times in this podcast have we talked about the impression that Edouard left on certain games, or Iron left on certain games, and people were so quick to just keep that and stick to it. It's like holding a grudge for no reason. It's like you personally know the guy or something. And it's the same with Maeda, it's the same with Starfelt. Bring on Starfelt on Saturday. I'm looking for it. Hopefully he gets a goal against him. I would absolutely love it. That's the thing though.
Big man's on fire, man.
It's just, I know it's the same people moaning saying that Starfelt's not good enough are the same ones who'll be like, oh, I love it, scoring a goal, what a player, what a brilliant player, and then bang, because fucking hell, that's how angry I am. But it's the same folk. They just, I don't know what it is. There's just a grudge in the back of people's heads because maybe he left a poor first impression, but You can't argue, I suppose. You can't argue. Right. Let's get into team selection then. What would be our 11s by the time this is out, it will be tomorrow's game. Joe Hart and goals.
Yep. 100%.
What do we think about Benji?
Decent.
Done me after, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice jobs.
I mean, the Celtic goalkeeper's job is probably one of the easiest goalkeeping jobs in all of Europe, right enough, so it's not much he has to do. But he done well. I liked him. But Joe's my man. Joe's got to start. Hopefully he's alright.
I was going to say, has there been any update of that?
I don't
I get the point. Obviously, I did get the staples and such put in, but obviously I thought Andrew would have maybe good sort of update or such, just saying, he's getting on well.
Can't believe I just got like 10 staples in these suit, man. I accidentally stapled my thumb at work, man.
Never mind playing a game of football, but I remember in school, and I think it was 4th year, we were watching some shite in English. It was one of, they stuck on something rotten. I think it might have been an Arthur Miller play. I was sitting watching Arthur Miller play, and I was just bored, so I've got to staple it. And I've done that thing, when you open it up with a gun, right, and you start shooting it. But for some reason, I've got my thumb over the bit where the staples come out. And I've pushed it right out into my thumb, and halfway through this film class is in silence. You just hear, "Hey, you bastard!" in the middle of the class. I went, sorry, blood just pouring out the top bit of my thumb. I was sore as anything. I couldn't get staples. That'd be off. I think Joe Hart. He should be fine for the weekend, as we all know. He hopefully be there for Real Madrid as well. So yeah, Joe in goal seems to be the easy decision. Back four. Is it as simple as going Juranovic, Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor?
Aye.
Yeah.
No. Is that the four that pick?
I'd be surprised if I seen anything other than that, to be honest. If Yen starts,
I want Bernabeu subbed on. I want it badly. If we're up 5-0 or something like that, bring on Bernabeu. Just red card. Just he does fucking.
He's a face. He's
a fucking nutter, man. He's not right, man. They'll be fun.
It's the South Americans. They've got temper to them. No, he would bring a right flair onto the game, I think. Right towards it. You can picture him up celebrating.
Actual flair.
So I mean, man, I would love to see him come on and just get feisty towards the end if we could.
But it's just like the image of Jordan Jones doing it, snapped something in his own knee.
True, actually.
He would do something stupid like that, and he'd be the one that comes out worse.
I was impressed with him though as well Wednesday night. Bernabeu, thought he looked decent.
He's another one, done his job, didn't he? Get up and down. Defensively, there's still a wee bit of work there to be done.
He's got to be somebody that's sort of weighed down by how much we paid for him. Like,
aye.
I'm not saying it's a record breaking fee, but to pay like 3.5, close to £4 million for that. But he's in 21. 21-year-old Argentinian left back. I think everybody expected. I think just because he was Argentinian,
it's a real credit to Taylor though how good he's been. He's been. So, you can make the argument he's been player of the season worthy. So I know we've played 5 fucking games, but to this point, he's probably up there in the conversation for best player on the team so far. He's been really, really good, Greg Taylor.
For the good performance, we put the Instagram comments back on.
Maybe. I mean, I'll keep my mouth shut for good. I've had my lesson with Greg. I've been told.
You've had the tailor off.
I've had the tailor off. So that's the back four, isn't it? That picks itself. And we kind of briefly touched on it earlier. The midfield three picks itself.
I don't get by that photo. It's like the SpongeBob meme. Like one eye's looking at one part of the book and another. And it was like also the two midfield option. With FD, I don't see it picks itself.
I know McCarthy has to start. See, he might be getting loaned out tonight. There's a chance of it. I
seen he was getting linked to Stoke City. I think they've sort of dampened.
Have they? They've just got Alex Neil, haven't they?
Aye.
Could go. Connection, Hamilton and such. Could happen.
Colours red and white.
I think both. Did they play for Hamilton at the same time?
Probably.
I think they did. So they'll know each other. Anyway, midfield three picks itself. McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate. That's the three. I mean, Turnbull, once again, don't mind if he does start. Good enough player. Moy, don't mind if he does start. Good enough player. But I just feel like Kieran, that three right now are clicking. And Hatate's done the damage, and O'Reilly's just so good.
I just think it's a really good balance. And then you've always had the argument of letting McGregor push further forward, but I think as he gets on in his career, I think it's merely an idea to keep him as number 6. Like, people have been saying we need the number 6, and apparently I'll get man in the night anyway. Probably, I mean, he'll be signed, hopefully. So, I mean, you've got that option as well, no for the weekend, but like as time progresses about if where McGregor plays and all that. But I think we're starting to get a lot of decent options in midfield. Everybody was crying out to get another option in for midfield. So, but I don't think getting changes for Saturday at all. I think it's going to be McGregor, Hatate, and O'Reilly. I just think they've got a nice wee balance on the go. Hatate's just a player, man.
What's the chant again? Rio, Rio, Hatate. What's a bit after that again?
Celtic get excited when they
see you play. That's it. Aye. What's the song?
I don't know. The real Hatate.
I can't remember what the actual song
I don't know.
is.
Wee dummy up at Tannadice was lovely. See the one for the third goal.
Aye.
So he goes to it and just steps back and it's that button for O'Reilly again.
Okay, it's just so
they freed just gel.
We just have such a good team, man. So good. Aye, that's the free it picks itself for me. I don't see any other free that's better than that at this moment in time.
I think when the team's playing this well, I think it's hard to try and shift them to it. I mean, even though it was a different team that got played up at Dingwall, I don't think anybody for that starting 11 was in any real danger always in that place. I think the one, as we're going to come on to the now, is as to what the actual front three is going to be. We've already touched on striker, but obviously Jota and then Abada, Maeda. I'd be alright with either, but I think Abada's probably deserved that a wee bit more, judging off past few games. And I think, obviously, people can criticise Maeda and that. He's got good contributions and that, but in terms of actual goal threat, I think a lot of people are more comfortable with Abada being a goal threat. And just with the numbers he posted last season and that. So I know, I think I'd go with Abada.
We got Abada. It's been a while since I've heard that. Yeah, Abada, he's in the wing. We've got Kyogo, we're doing this thing.
I do know the tune, Ryan.
Thanks. In the front three, I think there's two likely front threes. One being Jota, Maeda, Kyogo. The other being Abada, Jota, Kyogo. I think those are the two most likely. What would you personally prefer, Callum?
Going off with current form, I think it's Abada over Maeda, but don't get me wrong, I said I wouldn't be disappointed if I was to see Maeda starting in the stadium. It's the two of them are brilliant options to bring off the bench, one place and the other. It's just as good.
It's like a cheat code.
It genuinely is at times. It feels frightening, especially the pace of Maeda as well. But him running at you when you're on tired legs must be horrendous.
Oh, I know. I mean, I was at Fives the other night looking at the pearly gates as well as the game was going on. I could not imagine being like a Kilmarnock right back trying to chase down Maeda 85 minutes into the game. It must be fucking horrible. For me, I'll come to you in a second, Kieran. For me, I'm going to Abada as well because I just want Jota on the left and it accommodates that nicely. And as you say, Maeda coming off the bench is not bad at all. So that's my reasoning. Kieran?
I know, I just don't think anybody with that three that was just said deserves not to start. I mean, Abada's been playing class the last few games, got his hat-trick up at Tannadice, so obviously he's a definite. Kyogo, I've already said I want him and Jota, but he's first name in the team sheet every week, man. There's no debate about that.
No, not at all.
No, absolutely not. Right, okay. That's the end of the derby stuff, basically. I think anybody... Open your minds.
You're about to ask a camera there, weren't you?
Open your minds. Tell us how you're feeling. Anything that you feel that I have missed out as the host of the show, anything that you would like to...
We'll get a nice wee display for the Green Brigade.
Oh, I didn't even think about the Green Brigade display. It won't be full stadium.
No, just for their section.
I hope it's something good.
There always is something.
I wonder what it'll be.
What was the one last season? Was it Peaky Blinders?
Peaky Blinders.
Well, I put in a guest to do, and if anybody wins, we'll gain them money or something.
No.
You know, got money to spare. Well, no money involved. What could it be? I think it could be so it's like a restaurant table, right? Restaurant table, Ange sitting at one side, Gio's in a booster seat on the other side, and it's just they two.
Right, so Space Jam.
who's Michael Jordan?
Jota's
Michael Jordan. I feel like say Ange. Ange is like Michael Jordan, and then the rest of them are all to be Disney characters.
It wasn't Disney, but okay.
Oh well, sorry, what is it? Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Warner
Brothers. Callum, you got any ideas?
Yeah, don't know. The one last season, the 3-0 game was brilliant. The full zombie partner with the flares, which just looked cracking. But
everything about that night was just perfect.
Flares don't work as well during the day, you know.
They've got the same
Nah.
pop.
Don't have the same
You
effect.
just smoke bombs then, didn't you?
Aye, smoke bomb it.
What,
I love the weather's no pish, man, but I'm pretty sure it's meant to be raining like for most of
I'm
the day on
gutted about
Saturday.
that because
It's gonna be clammy as fuck, I know.
I wanted to have my top with Beverage on the back out with pride, you know. Apparently I was the first person to get it on the back of my top.
I know.
In the Sellik
Good
shirt.
bastard before he'd even signed.
I know, photos weren't even released with him in his shirt yet, and I was sitting getting it fucking printed. I walked in, a lovely guy, by the way, he said he listens to the podcast, so I never got his name though, never gave me his name. Shout out to man who done my shirt printing. Lovely boy. He was like, this is the first one we've done or whatever, and he was like, we've not even got the fucking things in yet for his
The
the accents for his names, so he had to cut it with the V. He's like, are you sure you want it done the or do you want to wait? And I was like, what do you think? He was like, well, this is what we've done for his top that he's getting like photos with, and I was like, fuck it, just give me it then. So first one, biggest fan of Siad, my boy. We'll get on to him, we'll talk about him. We'll talk about him. But I hate the thought of rain, man. It just ruins the day. Anybody want to say it in there?
I don't want to get into the
Sean
deeper
Barry
meanings of rain.
Deeper meanings of
I
rain.
had done my higher English, fuck's sake. When I go back there.
Go to Spain.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Right, Jane, before we move on, any points about the derby at all that we've missed?
No, that's coming to mind.
Ready to move on. I can't go away without asking no score predictions.
Come back to me then.
2-1. What a boring
As I
fucking.
said, I say the same one for every game, I think. Changed it now.
Where's McGinley when you need him getting it 7-0? What have you, Kel?
3-2.
3-2. I said it.
What value you going for?
How's it going here? Is it 1-0, 1
90th
each?
minute staff out, I'm telling you.
Oh, jeez.
Heart
I
would
better
say
see
that.
Big Chico's diving header. But that again.
I don't think I could take a 90th minute winner generally just because I think it actually would
I couldn't, but at the
implode.
same time, I'd love it.
I'm going to go for 3-1 Celtic. That's my prediction. 3-1. And Siad Haksabanovic is going to come on and score. He's going to arrive at Celtic Park in fucking style.
Adam Moy to come on and score.
A rocket for like 30 yards. That would be amazing.
He comes
When,
on, I'm gonna be
when was the
scrambling
last
for my
like?
phone.
When was the last like screamer, like long range goal? Was it like Rogic in 2018 or something?
What's that? I mean, definition of long range. I mean, Hatate scored
Oh,
two
well,
goals
true,
twice.
true. I mean, like something like blisters into the top corner. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think.
Roger, the one who breaks his ankles, the last one that comes to mind. That wee junk inside and then finishes it.
Aye. Hopefully there's one this weekend. Would love that. Anyway, that's us for the derby. So far, there will be obviously questions in the mailbag segment of the show. There's no normal traditional quiz this week because it is a longer show. We're already 40 minutes in, so we're going to just kind of get through the halfway point quiz, and then we're going to go into the Twitter questions and talk maybe a little bit about the transfer window and stuff, but we'll kind of dash over it.
Your channel later.
Well, I mean, if I get home in time, who knows? Maybe I'll do a wee live stream unannounced, but we'll see how it goes. Right, so this week it is the birth of a new game on the channel, on the podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Celtic Tenable. Sadly, Warwick Davis cannot be with us this week, aka Ryan McGinley. He's not. You try it in. He's not here to host. However, I have requested to Kieran, the maker of the quiz. Shout out to Kieran, big friend of the show, of course. Looking forward to seeing you soon, brother. I've requested that every week he sends it to Ryan since he is the equivalent of Warwick Davis. So I hope he doesn't take these height jabs personally.
It kind of sounds like it's getting quite personal.
Ryan has so many opportunities to have a go at me in this. He made a dig at me one time. I remember it, and it sticks to the fucking mind. I can't bring it up, but
Fair
tell you after the show. Anyway, right, it's time for Celtic Tenable. I love you, Ryan. Right, don't greet. So, you know how Tenable works, boys. You've all watched it.
No.
You're such a difficult bastard, honestly. So obviously, if you've never watched Tenable, the whole point is you get a topic and you've got to list 10 things from said topic, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. If you've never watched Tenable, fucking go and get a TV license and get a watch. I think it's on at like 3 o'clock during the week, something like that. So you can find it out. So this week we've got our first Celtic themed topic. Kieran has explained the rules to me as well. So the way Kieran has worded it, and I'm still quite baffled. I was just going to let you try and work together to get the 10, but Kieran's gave me rules. Kieran said basically, for example, Kieran would answer first, then Callum, then Kieran, and you'd work your way to trying to get the 10. If one gets it wrong, they're out until the end of the game. And they can overrule each other once only. So if Kieran says something incorrect, Callum can overrule for a correct answer. But if Callum gives a wrong answer, or he's overruled a correct answer, then he's out and Kieran carries on himself. These get my gist?
Let's just get on with it.
Let's try. Okay, welcome to Celtic Tenable. And our topic for this week, our first ever, is the last 10 teams Celtic have played in a cup final. So there you go, the last 10 teams. And duplicate teams don't count. So for clarification, we're looking for the last 10 individual teams that Celtic have played in a cup final since the 2022 Scottish Cup final. Teams Celtic may have played more than once do not count as two individual teams. Right. So there you go. Are you all ready?
Thanks so much.
Kieran Auld, heads or tails?
Heads.
You're going to go heads. So if it lands on heads, you'll get to choose if you want to go first, etc., etc. I'm flipping said coin. It is preparing to flip, and you have landed on heads. So would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
You're going first. Okay, so the last 10 teams to play in cup finals from the 2022 Scottish Cup final. On you go.
Hibs.
Correct. Amundo, there's the first one. Who's before that, Cal?
Hearts.
Correct. Amundo, 2020 Scottish Cup final. After that, Kieran?
Aberdeen.
Tenable, you're allowed to give it in any order anyway, aren't you? So Aberdeen's correct. That was there's one after Aberdeen, but that was correct. That was the 2018 League Cup final. Callum.
Sometime after that.
Oh, wait, aye.
My
brain just.
Maybe you can give any anyway. You don't need to go to that one necessarily, but you can give any of the 10.
Thank previous years.
So we've had Hibs, Hearts, Dundee United, correct. 2015 League Cup final. Yes, okay. Kieran? Rangers, of course. 2019 League Cup final. There you go. Right, that brings us back to you, Callum. Reminder, we've had Hibs, Hearts, Rangers. You said Aberdeen, and you said Dundee United. So we're halfway there.
Trying who went on decent cup runs and we've played them.
It goes back quite a bit, this, by the way.
I know, I was actually I'm going through my head because of the
majority of
duplicates.
times, it's the same teams.
Kilmarnock, correct. 2012 League Cup final. Well done. Motherwell, correct. 2018 Scottish Cup final. So we've got 7. There's only 3 more teams in cup competitions. Callum, it's back to you.
Yeah, I'll try to get through the league as well. So what are we back to?
I will give you a clue. The remaining 3 teams, none of them currently play in the Scottish Premiership.
Right, so
I think I've got one answers, but I don't know if it's too far back.
Right, so I'm trying. Who the fuck's in the Championship? I'm just trying to drop in. I can't fly from here. There's generally drawing a blank.
Wait, so are we working together here? Like, say,
That's
the overall
it feels like the full-time hanging question.
These are basically working together, but whoever's the last man standing will win. But then you just see if we can get to 10. There's 3 teams left. I'm going to have to start putting a timer on though. 3 teams remaining, Callum.
So I feel like David always goes on about one, but I don't know if that was Dunfermline one.
Dunfermline is one of them.
David always goes on about one.
Done.
That was, I don't know what year.
That was obviously the 2005, was it? He's wrote it down. 2007 Scottish Cup final. I think we played them in 2005 as well, didn't we? I think it was 2 finals we played against Dunfermline. Don't know. Anyway, 2007 Dunfermline. So there's 2 left.
Or something.
2 left, Kieran. You're doing well here. 2 more to go.
I'm trying to think, is it further back than that? Because I'm at in 2009.
Right, here, I gave a clue to Callum. These are basically working together now anyway. I gave a clue to Callum. So a clue now is the next one after this is 2003.
What was I doing in 2003?
I think you will struggle for the last one, but you should surely get this. Come on. One of the most famous games in the club's history.
Oh wait, I'm thinking domestic.
Cup competitions.
Aye. Porto.
Porto, correct. Which means
I was
there's
actually going through thinking
Porto, which means the last one is the only one that remains.
Oh, that's what I thought it was, isn't it?
And you'll have to cast your mind back to 1994 for the next team. Now, you might just want to give it a stab in the dark and get yourself out here, because I think you're really going to struggle unless you know who we played in the 1994 League Cup final. People will know. There'll be viewers, of course, shouting the name out here because they were probably there and they will probably remember it well. But
before their time, mine's drawn blanks.
no.
Both of you throw a team out. Anybody, non-Premiership side.
Race Rovers.
Oh, what a guess, son. Well done.
Something in the back of my head was saying
Well done. Rafe Rovers is correct. Well done, son. There you go. Well done, boys. She's got the 10.
That's actually quite enjoyable, that.
Don't bring up the 10, please. Yeah, okay, lovely. That's that then. I hope you've enjoyed the new game of the quiz. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. He's a great quiz maker, Kieran. He really should. I know he's doing his own
Bradley
thing.
Walsh backs in.
I know he's doing his own thing, but he should really be working at like ITV Studios, like making quizzes or something like that. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Kieran. Right, 10 minutes until we hit the hour mark, so very quickly let's talk about the transfer window. We're buzzing with it, boys. What a transfer window for Celtic. Here to recap for you right now. If Oliver Abildgaard signs tonight for the club, he will join Jota, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alexandro, Bernabé, Moritz Jens, Dyson Maeda, Sead Haksabanovic, Aaron Moy and Benjamin Siegrist. You're just sitting there thinking, what a window.
I know, but we're sitting through that with the 2020 one.
This is the difference. So when I brought this up, the difference is Jota proven, Vickers proven, Maeda proven, Haksabanovic looks a player, Jens has had a fantastic start, Bernabé looks as though he'll be really useful, Moy looks as though he's going to be brilliant as he goes on. Siegrist's a great backup. This is genuinely a window where we know that it's tried and tested, I think.
Because he had a lot of chatter at the start that we were standing still in the transfer market and we were spending about £12 million to stand still with Jota and Carter-Vickers, but we were signing up to the best players that were in the league the season before, so I don't really get that. I never really got that argument, but the Wednesday night there shows you why we're signing certain players, because the squad depth that we're starting to build now, it's not like the position we were in last year when we were having to field, frankly, quite shocking starting 11s away to Ross County, away to St Mirren, teams like that. Like, very dodgy games to be fielding, horrible teams. Like, the starting lineups were all over the place just due to COVID and other injuries and stuff like that. But now we're in a position, we've strengthened. I think January was a massive part in building towards where we are now as well, putting some real quality and depth. Replaced people in the starting lineup as well, but now you've got people Aaron Moy and that, who I'll hold my hands up and say I was kind of fearful it was going to be another James McCarthy-esque signing, but he's coming in showing he's actually got some quality to bring into the team. He's got something worth value. I don't want to start piling on James McCarthy here, but that signing, just at the time I was pretty happy with it, but looking back on it, it was just the easy signing to make it. I don't know if it was there was a lot of forward planning with that move, but with Aaron Moy, players like that coming in, even Haksabanovic, like, you've got some real quality and depth now, and you'll be happy to field a second string team now, because you seen what they could do midweek. Went on 4-1. The first team won, what was it, 3-1 a few weeks ago. So I don't know, it's just, it shows the quality we've got through the team now, so you're very happy with the window we've just had.
We just keep getting better and better and better. Callum, who's been your favourite signing of the window? Let's exclude Jota and CCV because they were here last season. Who's your favourite new, and Maeda, who's your favourite new face thus far?
I think it's Jens.
Jens?
To be fair, I mean, obviously he's chipped in with his goals so far, but I think it's just, I feel as if he's like another Carter-Vickers. He wants to go in the ball and he wants to drive you out. It's like the way Aya was. He'd happily take that ball and like walk out for defence. You'd much rather, like I said, a defender like Staff out, you let him just sit in and defend, do what defender's supposed to, and let him go out and be that ball playing centre half. It's nice to have that other option, especially if there was to be an injury or such to Carter-Vickers.
Yeah, and obviously my favourite is Sead. I honestly cannot believe we're starting a season with Sead Haksabanovic at Celtic after years of fantasising about the moment. He's here. It's unbelievable. I think he's going to be brilliant for us, and somebody made the point, you know, Jota might not be here that long. He genuinely could leave at the end of this season. You've got somebody like Sead Haksabanovic to walk right in and take the spot. You know, we're ready for the touch wood, it doesn't happen, but we're ready for that scenario.
See, I'm happy with the strength in the team, man, but I'm fearful for like
So
losing
many
half
players,
of it
mate.
over
So,
the next
my
year.
dad said last night, I think that O'Reilly will be off in the winter. And I was like, Dad, half the fucking team could be off in the winter the way they're going, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, a lot of people asking the question, what if Ange gets called upon this season?
No.
not going to
At some
happen.
point, no.
No, Leicester are going to sack Rodgers and give Desmond a wee phone.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Right, okay. Twitter questions then. Well, very quickly, as we're recording, this will be irrelevant come tomorrow because we should be seeing photos of him in a Celtic shirt. But as we've been recording, Mark Hendry has reported that Celtic's business with Oliver Abildgaard is finished. He's ready to be unveiled. Mikey Johnson is finalising a move to Vitória Guimarães in Portugal with a loan exit, and the club is open to late James McCarthy offers, but as things stand, there is no movement for him. Poor James.
I'll just be there.
He must feel so
Telling all the
unwanted.
jokes in the dressing room.
I had a couple of moves here and there. Poor James, he must feel so unloved at the moment, man. I came on the park last night, I just wanted to give him a big hug. Everything will be alright, mate. It's fine, don't worry. Right, okay, Twitter questions, let's get on to them. Have you any Scran questions this week?
Probably will be, aye.
I'm feeling quite peckish, you know. So I'm really hoping there's no, because I might start eating the table. Right, let's go. First question of tonight. My replies aren't working. Kieran, do you want to read the questions out this week, mate?
What an honour.
What a disaster. Phone your mum first, mum. Mum, I'm reading the questions. I can't get them up. It's no
You've got a
good.
problem with you, innit?
Ah, fuck off. that was harsh. That was harsh.
I'll go into the original tweet now. I'll pick and choose. It's in my hands this week. Right, so let's see. Let's just start.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh no. I just talk about food and that. Like, somebody's started halfway drink choice for Saturday.
Oh.
No, but this would normally be a whatever sort of thing, but I've got a bottle of watermelon Mad Dog sitting in my fridge that I don't like, but my financial circumstances after booking up the 3 trips this
Listen,
week.
before we get any questions, boys, we're on tour. The Sellik the Thunder is well and truly on tour. We're going all three, aren't we?
Aye.
All three. Madrid,
Oh, fuck off. I'm not going to
Warsaw, and
It annoys me.
and Leipzig. We're going to all three of them. We've got our tickets for 2 of the games so far. We've got all our transportation sorted for all of them. I'm flying for fucking Santa Ponza to Warsaw, and then back to Santa Ponza, which is
I was
fantastic.
going to say what we're doing the return.
Going back to Santa Ponza, finish off the holiday there.
Finish it off.
Finish it off. See after the end of it. We're skint. We're honestly all so skint, aren't we? Bloody hell. How much money is this all came to? Like,
I don't even want to fucking know.
Such an
Let's
arse.
just know.
Let's just go with the Twitter question.
right, drink a choice for the weekend, Cam. What you think? No, no taking. None of us would take drink to the games. Absolutely abhorrent behaviour. Wouldn't catch us drinking alcohol in a
Wouldn't
football stadium.
condone that at all.
No.
Let's start off with Doug Really Win It, and then we'll see as the day goes on where we end up.
I'll start with the Buckfast early doors, and then we'll move on to whatever establishment we're in.
My replies on the showing on my phone.
Yours no either. Well, it was a
Let's
great.
just make up the Twitter questions.
So did John.
See which are chippy all the time.
Sideshow Bob is asked. He's always there, isn't he? When Cal and all that, he can guess who's there. I'll see if it's working on my laptop again. What a disaster,
I seen one of the other ones I caught before.
Mate, it must be Twitter. Twitter must be broke.
One of the other questions I clocked before my phone decided to get up the ghost on Twitter.
Oh, I've got them.
How'd you get them?
I've got them.
fine, then.
Right, okay.
Fuck you, I'm not.
Celtic fan group. Good to see the podcast back. Don't really know a question, but would like to know what is each of your favourite non-alcoholic beverages and alcoholic beverages.
Duns Limeade.
Is that actually your favourite?
Nah, but I mean, like, you just think about sometimes just the thought it's just fucking sexy, man.
Mouth watering.
A glass check for a for a green goodness.
Oh, keys a fucking break, man. I think my favourite non-alcoholic beverage is Lout.
Oh, Lout's a shit.
Lout is probably my favourite, and my favourite alcoholic beverage is probably just a nice ice cold beer.
Any specific kind?
I can't make up my favourite nowadays, mate. It changes like the weather. Probably I like a Peroni. I like it. If I bought I like Grosh, it's nice. I don't know, mate.
See, just the way you're saying that, it's reminding me of that mad thing. It's like, I'll tell you who does a nice paracetamol. Morrison's.
Oh, sad face. That $2 or something. What about you, Kel? Your favourite beverages? You don't even give your alcoholic. You like eating. Buckfast, my favourite alcoholic beverage. There you go, Buckfast and Lout.
I've been joining Vimto again recently.
Aye, never been a Vimto man myself.
Ages. And probably just beer in it.
Stella,
Heineken. Aye, too.
I don't know what my favourite alcoholic drink is. I drink it.
watermelon vodka.
Hot.
Passion fruit
I
vodka.
hate passion fruit vodka. Sent me mad way.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Right. What a cheery question Elliot's gave us this week. What would your 3 last songs at your funeral be?
The Last Waltz.
Apple Bottom Jeans by the Beach Boys. I love that. I've always said that I want The Long and Winding Road. I want that. I want that's it.
I'm that 3 times back to back.
I'm Still Standing by Elton John. And something Celtic-y. The Celtic song. There you go. If you had one song to pick at your funeral, what would it be? Don't give me 3. 1.
Alright, you're allowed 3 million now.
I'll go for The Long and Winding Road.
I don't care.
You're not going to hear it anyway. Play it in your
Just
head.
firing it in that fucking big oven.
Are you getting cremated?
They're putting me in the ground.
I'm going for the burial, I think.
Traditionalist.
Yes.
There'll be no fucking plots left.
True, actually, I've always wondered that one. Like a day, like you're just going to start like getting rid of old folk. Like
They'll bury up the jet fuels.
right. Come on. Aidan asks, fuck this, we're into the show. Aidan asks, does Abildgaard go straight into the starting 11 for the derby?
Absolutely not.
No. Can't throw him in like that. Don't even know anything about the cunt. If he's good or not, I've never seen him in my life. Does Cameron cut Burnsy? Does Carter Vickers get a statue outside Celtic Park when he pockets Benzema?
Oh, see if you this pocket Benzema, man. I mean, that's what smile.
Horny.
Damage is one that I don't really want to think about the now, man. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get a podcast up before Real Madrid, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I won't be there.
I would have loved to have got one done on Monday, but it just doesn't seem like it would make much sense. It'll probably be a review.
I'm also working Monday. So.
We'll get something sorted next week. After the Real Madrid game, it's just unfeasible to get us out here because Saturday we're going to be out all day. Sunday nobody's fucking moving realistically, and Monday's just a bit of a rush to get it out. And it would have to be early Monday, and you're just it's no tidy.
Ordeal, man.
People will be saying like you should be committed. Why are you getting steaming for on Saturday? Because I'm an alcoholic. That's why.
It's just been a pure cry for help podcast.
I know, exactly. So people are going to be like, if you came back for your holidays, all right? Or
Absolutely not.
Announce Sellik Podcast Pro Clubs. Who knows? Maybe one day. Let's see. GG or QQ got to start. We've obviously covered that. Best post-workout scran. None of us are working out. Look at the fucking status. Come on.
Oh, man.
What would be your post-workout scran, Kim?
Chippy.
Oh, big crunchy box. No, what is
Crunchy box to put you in your box, man.
Too much hilarity in this room, boys. Oh my god. Cal's obviously in, as always, and he's got a good question.
Can't even mind the last time I spoke about Sellik. Mate, I think it's the lack of hydration, man. There's not a bottle of water on this fucking gaff. It's fucking melting.
Shut up.
Stop laughing.
We go in the I was half scooshed. We go on the plane. The woman's up there.
That voice is giving me thinking.
The woman was telling her, you know, your exits are here and here. No, hen, I'm not wanting a paradise with full ticket. Don't know why. You're just fucking steaming. Girls asked, since Rangers announced Black Rooster stalls at Ibrox, if you could have any chain at Parkhead, what would it be? And you can't pick Domino's.
Pepe's.
Rival.
Aye.
Would you actually pick Pepe's, but
No.
Pepe's is wank.
Yeah, but I'm going to boycott Black Rooster now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you last time I had it, but technically I'm 3 months into my boycott.
I think I'd go for it. I think the logical, you know, it's going to be fast food, so I'm just going to go McDonald's.
Yeah.
Imagine when you want to go to the game and have a Big Mac, man. Class.
Only if they brought back the spicy chicken snack.
Right, and final question. Do you think we've spent too much time in the midfield department rather than other areas such as the right wing? I don't think we spent anywhere near as much time in the midfield areas.
I feel like most people have been criticising how much we've spent on the wing. We're going to try to improve the wingers instead of the midfield.
I don't think we need a right winger right now. No, that's all.
Especially a club legend like James Forrest there.
Well, exactly. 14 straight seasons,
that is mental.
That is crazy. Congratulations,
I appreciate
Jamesy.
that.
Aye.
Fuck you, James.
That's us lost a good 5% of the viewers from today's podcast. That brings.
When I'm on anyhow, it's fine.
Shut up.
See the thing about some of the comments I've seen in the past with a lack of professionalism. Fuck me. Make it to the end of this one. I'm trying to see the comments. Can't get the right to off comment.
Oh, I hope folk have made it to the end of this somehow. Oh my god.
Little bastards of the health, man.
Brilliant. Right. We need to do one of these with a drink in us, man. I think it'd be some laugh.
Oh, that'd be fucking brilliant.
Drink a lot of fuck is it?
Right, that brings us to the end of the show. And quite a decent time, to be fair, this week. 1 hour 5. Time we cut out the bit at the start, probably about 1-3. So it's quite good.
So 3 minutes of Celtic talking.
What you didn't know is I've surprised you with a quiz, so he's your face.
Walk it, man.
That's us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to episode 68 of the podcast. We'll be back next week at some point. We'll try and get something organised and capitalise on, you know, the games and the fixtures and everything else. We want to have as much discussion as possible, but obviously a very tight week with everything going on. So enjoy the weekend. Hopefully a big result for Celtic, and take care of yourselves. Watch yourselves walking down that Great Western Road and all those areas. You know, you don't want to be jumped by any
Western Road.
Oh well, what's the road I was fine? Great
Paisley
Western
Road West.
Paisley Road West. Sorry, my bad. May as well end the show now. I don't hang about doing that way. Just watch yourself, and then we've got obviously Madrid on Tuesday, so watch yourself. About the tune for the fascists.
If there's a message to take for it, Ryan saying watch yourself.
Watch yourself. We don't want to come back to the podcast hearing something bad's happened to you. You know.
We want your home safe and
Sound yes. Listen to the other show. Right, enough nonsense from me, Callum. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks for having us.
Kieran, just try and chill, mate.
He's wasted.
He's wasted. Right, ladies and gents, thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time.